is In the Shadows Podcast. Lots of cigar talk, but if it's going on in the world, we'll be talking about that too. And by the way, the fellows don't shy away from controversial topics. Trust me. So grab that stick, kick back with your favorite drink, and let's do the thing. This is the In the Shadows Podcast. Now your hosts, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin, along with Albert, Martine, and Eric.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Shadow Smokes Legion in the Shadow Podcast. I'm your host, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin, and today we have the co-hosts, Albert, Eric, and Martin Amaya. So today, we're just gonna have some loose talk about funny topic, right? So I saw this particular editorial and saying that people have different expectations of courtesies. People have different expectations to do certain stuff. And their example was, why do people feel like they had to return those shopping carts in like markets back to where it is when there's nothing to gain from it, right? You don't get money, you don't get time. They have a guy that pushes them around, but why do people have to return them, right? You know, and some people don't return them. I'm not saying that they always return. Like, you know, if you're by yourself and the return station's like wicked far, you probably want to leave it in the corner or like between cars or like the sidewalk, whatnot. Some people even take it with them because, hey, what else is it's good to carry all that stuff or the 60-inch TV you just bought that you got to carry home by hand, right? So they talk about courtesy. They talk about in terms of when there's nothing to gain, what is driving you to do that courtesy. And I think it's something interesting to talk about because at the same time, it kind of relates to all industry, right? And for example, we talk about cigars, we talk about damaged cigars that, you know, from the previous episode that, you know, you should let the shop owner know. And you let them know, and they might extend that courtesy to you and replace your cigar or, you know, try to solve that issue that you might have, right? And at times they don't because there's nothing to gain from it. Even though they technically do have something to gain from it. They might just ignore you. They might replace the cigar thinking that you got to be a good client. They want you to keep it, that kind of stuff. But let's talk about specifically from that scenario, right? What drives you to do something courteous when there's nothing to gain? And you can use that same thing as a scenario. You can think about, like, you know, for example, the push cart. What makes you want to return that push cart?
First
right?
of all,
so
I want to say, if you are buying a 60-inch TV and you're walking home with it in a cart, that's hood rich.
not everybody can fit a 60-inch TV in their car, even if you have a car, right? You know, nowadays they sell TV that's like 75, 80, 90. And you don't want to pay that $100 Geek Squad to deliver to your house and set it up for you. You want to carry it home, and you just happen to not everybody around America has a truck. Okay, this is not Texas where everybody had a truck or have a friend with a truck. That's a different story, right? But we're talking about simply what makes you want to do something courteous when there's nothing to gain. All right. So we can start with Albert. Albert, for you, what makes you feel like you had to do something courteous when there's nothing to gain? I mean, there is somebody already paid to do that, right? For example, you know, the push car, and there, for example, sorting your trashes. The trash is being sorted out again at the waste department. They sort out your trash again. Why do you want to sort it out to recycle? Why do you want to do that, right? Go ahead, Albert.
Yeah, so both of those, I don't like to sort the recycles. I like throwing them all in the trash can. And because that's what happens, people are going to do that at wherever it is. I've also seen where I will put things in a recycle bin only to find that the custodians come around and they mix it all up anyway. So what are we doing? Why did I go that extra effort if they're just going to combine it before it even makes it? It's all going in the same dumpster, so to speak. The push cart situation, I will go so far as to not allow the push cart to, I won't leave it in a spot where someone has to get out of their car to move it in order to park. So I'll push it up on top of like a median are a curb so it doesn't roll and damage somebody else's car. I think there's even some liability possibly if someone sees that. So there is a vested interest for me not to have that happen. But also, I just don't want that to happen either. So that's something. But I if it's close enough for me to push into that little corral, I might do it, depending on how hot it is, how cold it is. So I'm kind of a rude person in that regard. There's a set of videos from this guy who he will go around and chastise people for not putting their carts up. He's a real weird guy too. And if you get a chance to watch those videos, you might want to look him up. But he has damn near gotten his ass kicked because he has chided these people for not putting their carts up. And then he'll throw these little magnets on their hood of their car that they're not. What is that called, Martine? You're shaking your head. So like, what's that called? It's the cart guy or something like that.
I've only seen one video where he basically put 2 carts behind someone's car, and made them put them away. I don't know about the magnets thing though.
Right, but he'll put a magnet on their car, and then they get super pissed because then, they're like, and I often wondered, like as I'm dealing with the cart situation, if some guy's going to walk up and do the YouTube video on me or whatnot, and what I would do. I would probably just drive off with this sticker or with this magnet in that regard. So yeah, I'm not really the guy in that. I have another situation. I'll let Eric and Martine chime in first, but yeah, those 2 situations, I'm really not the courteous person, I guess.
I mean, when it comes to putting the damn cart away, I park way the hell out in the back. I'm a car guy. I will literally park away from everybody so that my car doesn't get hit with a cart or another car. So when it comes down to me having to put a cart back, I have noticed some retailers will actually put a cart return out further away because they know people like to park out there. So if it's close enough, I'd say maybe within 20 to 50 feet, I'll put it back. If not, I'll pop it on a curb to where it doesn't roll and hit another car.
Okay. But you won't carry it with your 75-inch TV, like if you gotta buy one.
I mean, I'll bring it up to my car and then I'll roll the seat, put the seats down, and fit it in there as best I can. But I'm not gonna.
There is no way to fit a 75-inch TV on a sedan.
You can strap it to the roof.
But to be fair, living in Texas, we don't live right next to the Best Buy, so there's that.
I don't think anybody lives right next to Best Buys.
Yeah, I don't live next to Best Buy.
So how are you going to push that cart miles and miles to your house? Come on, man.
Some people will. Just
people
to save that $100.
People want that TV.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Yeah. Well, Eric, go ahead.
I would never.
Yeah, I usually I park far away too, to make sure my car don't get hit. But I usually will return it. Like 95% of the time, I return it to the car because I see when I walk out, I get pissed off when the car is in my way or something there. I want to park. I don't want that to happen to other people, And I see the guy that when they go collect the cart, especially wintertime, you know what they have to go through to gather all that cart up and stuff like that. If you could make someone's job easier for them, do it. It doesn't take that long. It doesn't take that much time. It doesn't take that much effort. And if somebody, in the way I think of it, is like if I be courteous to somebody, I would get that in return at my job. So that's how I feel about it, and I usually return it, no matter how far I have to walk.
Okay. Well, let me talk about my scenario, right? Number one, I don't sort trashes. All right. The only thing that I break apart and separately is paper boxes because I have so much of those. If I don't break them apart and put in the recycle bin, I don't have enough trash space. So that I would do. But I think in a way you think it's courteous. How I think it is job security. If there's no need to sort, they don't have to hire that one person to sort it for you. If there's no cart to return, they don't have to hire the guy to push the cart back. So
Well,
it's a job security.
Yeah,
issue.
but the thing is, like, he already pushing the cart back. He already collecting it. I'm
Right,
like, in a
but
song,
if-
like,
but-
like, would you be mad if you in that job and like snowing outside and you have to go gather the cart all over the freaking place,
Hey, life sucks, man.
right?
You got to
But,
do that.
but let
shit.
me put this in the scenario for you, right? If it's that easy, you just had to push it back directly from the cart thingy. It doesn't take that much time. So now instead of hiring 2 people, 3 people, they just need 1. They just need 1. Now 2 people have no job.
Hey, you know what? So I've gone to Walmart. I don't know about y'all's, but I go to Walmart and they have the automatic fucking pusher. So you just strap the fucker into another pushable cart and it rolls for you. The only thing you got to do is collect it.
But you still have to collect it though.
Yeah.
You
So what? You're just walking around the parking lot. You're collecting them, but this robotic thing is
Just
pushing
because we
it
don't have
for
that
you.
job.
But you know what I'd be pissed off at, Eric? I'd be pissed off if I had that kind of a job and there weren't any carts to push, and then I didn't have the job anymore. Like that would be terrible.
No, it make your job easier.
No, I wouldn't have a
If
job.
there's no need, they will get rid of the job. But let me put it out there though. I will return the car, but I am slightly different than everybody else. When I go out shopping, my wife is with me, so I have this thing where I put everything in the car. I start the car. My wife will push that car back, and I'll drive the car to her.
To her, yeah.
So-
and the AC,
Oh,
the air conditioning.
I don't do that. I don't let my girl do that.
So the air conditioning is like even better. Like you've already gotten all the heat cycled out of the car, so when she gets in, she's in the AC. Perfect.
And another time where,
No.
like, for example, if I have a car near me, when I get out of a car, and there's one guy's collecting the car, I will push the car over to kind of like roll it over to him, like
Yeah.
kind of hey, here you go, there you go. It's
Oh,
not
yeah.
that bad, but I honestly do believe that if you get rid of the necessity, then there won't be a job for it. If you sort all your things, every single one, and where the facility no longer had to check their trash, they would just put a robot there, and a guy would lose their job.
Let me say this.
Right.
I can guarantee you that these guys that are out there collecting carts are thankful if that's what they're doing, because if you think about it, there are so many self-checkout lanes. They don't have the need for people who ring up your items anymore.
All right, let's talk about this, okay? Let's talk about. I know that for Whole Food, if they are not busy, they will just get the people in there that's not busy to go collect the cars. Okay, so that get rid of that job because it's not that, because they don't have the need anymore, right? But if there's a need, they will have somebody dedicated to do that. But because there's no need, they will just get the people that are sitting in there and say, "Oh, this is not too busy. Go collect the cars." So
Okay.
if you see that situation, for sure they got rid of that job.
And I got one more. I got one final nail in the coffin on this particular case.
Okay.
Have you ever shopped at Aldi, Eric?
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
once.
Have you-
I think once.
Have you ever seen anybody
Yeah.
collecting carts at an Aldi?
Well, no, you have to bring your own steward
Boom.
box thing. I don't.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I didn't like I didn't like the shop there at
Right.
all.
I didn't either.
I went there once.
Because
and
they
never
do
came back.
they do the quarter thing, right? You put the quarter in,
Right.
and everybody's wanting to get their little quarter back, so they'll push the cart back up to the front where you pick them up to go do your shopping. So
That's
Case
just
in
store
point.
training. But
They
train you
if I
to
had to
do
put a
that.
quarter in there, if I had to put
I'm
a
gonna
quarter
leave it.
in there, if I had to put a quarter in there, I'll just leave the car anywhere.
same.
They can have the quarter.
Yeah.
You gotta charge
yeah.
them money. There's a way to get around with it though. You just have to insert something. It will push the card out. You don't have to put a quarter in there. But if I gotta put a quarter in there, that's your return fee. Go ahead.
yeah,
if
but
you
the
think
thing,
that you can pay me 25 cents to return it, pay someone else 25 cents to get the car.
but the little things the little slugs you have to get, they cost a quarter.
Right. That you can push. You
You
can
just gotta
push a
push
pen
it
through that.
In with something.
Yeah.
A
Right.
key or
It
something.
will push the card out. Yeah.
A
The
little
lock will
slug.
come off.
Oh yeah, a little slug, like a little disc or coin, it costs a quarter for those things, man. So I'm just saying.
I mean, you can actually tie a thread into the quarter and can pull it right out. So there's ways to do that. I mean, I don't shop in Aldi's. I don't shop in all those what you want to call discounting stores, that kind of stuff, or wholesale stores, that kind of thing. And because and yeah, that's how they save the money, right? They save the money from doing that. And the cards are expensive. Believe it or not, those cards cost tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh yeah.
those cards are expensive, so they need those back, right? I can understand that, but I'm talking about in terms of courteous, right? But the thing is that if we are courteous when there's nothing to gain, someone else is losing out in terms of their job, because that's not job anymore. We have done the part where they don't need to hire somebody for it, right? For example, if nobody ever tossed trash in the store trash bin, let's say if you're in Starbucks, their trash bins never full. They don't need somebody to replace the trash. If the mall doesn't have trash bin, nobody can toss the trash in the mall, then there won't be anybody collecting the trash. It's a job that's not there.
So another courtesy thing, opening doors for people.
That I would do.
Right. That's just
that would
a given.
That too.
That's a given.
Like if I'm already open the door, I might as well hold it for a little bit so that they can get their hands on it at least. If it's elderly, they don't have the hands, I'll hold it there. I don't need that extra 3-4 seconds. That's fine.
What's the cutoff? What's the cutoff?
It's not that much time.
20 feet.
What's the cutoff? It's a bunch of kids. I'll let them open their own, right? Okay. If you're young and able, you're not someone pregnant. You're not someone that's that has their hands full. You're not someone that's taking care of the kids. So what if one lady with 3-4 kids, I'll hold the door for the lady because she's had to take care of those kids, right? She might not be paying attention. I might be walking through and the door is smacking her face. So I will hold it until she's aware of it, and then I'll go. Because some other people will do that for you. Like somebody walking in, they'll hold the door for me to get out.
Yep.
I'll thank them for it. So
they do.
It's not too much of a work. But if it's if you're young and able, you're 13 years old, open your own damn door, kid. Right? If you're not paying attention, you're on your phone and walk through and the door smack you in the head. Well, you shouldn't have been on the phone. And I've seen that happen. It's great. It feels great for me. I don't know. That might sound really evil, but now walking through, the door is heavy, and this kid behind me wasn't paying attention, was chatting on the phone and everything, and the door just boom right on the face. I'm yep, don't text and walk when you're walking to a mall. But I would feel bad if that was a older lady or disabled or whatnot. There's a reason that I can extend that courtesy to other people, and there are people that I let them do it themselves. So it really, I don't know. It has to do with the moon that day too, like if I feel good or not.
Yeah. So with my kids, anytime that they are coming up to a door, they will volunteer to hold the door open, which is kind of nice. They see somebody come in to hold the door for everybody.
But there's got to be a cutoff, right? Because sometimes you have a group of people. You hold the door, and then you gotta hold the whole entire group, right? You're just
the whole entire party,
right? Like none of them will hold their hands out and say, "Okay, we got it."
No. That's why you make eye contact.
I make eye contact. I stare them down
Yeah, no, you have to make eye contact with somebody. Once they make eye contact with you, you kind of nod a little bit, and that sets the hook, and then now they hold the door, and you're free.
Not for kids though. I noticed that kids were just like, "Thank you," and they keep walking through.
No,
they keep going. Yeah,
I've seen kids do it. I've seen kids do it. Yep.
So there's nothing to gain from this, but there's a certain courtesy that's easier enough to do. But obviously, those malls don't have doorman, so there was no
they have automatic doors.
Courtesy. Well, they have automatic door in Walmart, and they have a door greeter. Even though I don't really understand the door greeter.
I don't understand those. Yeah. I don't. Why do you have a door greeter? What the fuck? I'm going to.
I feel like that's just creating a job for those. I feel like that's just creating a job for someone.
Yeah. They're being courteous,
but they're checking. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're being courteous. The company is being courteous to the older workforce.
Right, because I really don't see. Here's the thing: I walk into Walmart once in a while, but I never got greeted by the greeter.
Oh, I do all the time.
Really?
I do all the time.
They never say "Welcome to Walmart" to me.
Yep.
Here in the
They're
South,
like, "Hey, how you doing?"
Yeah. Here in Texas, they're always saying, "Hey, how you doing? Hope you're having a good day," as you're walking by.
And believe it or not, that particular thing was actually to deter theft. They want people to know that you're noticed here. We know that you walked in, so that you're less likely want to do theft, because that means somebody already saw you. They noticed that you're there, and that would deter theft.
So is that true courtesy, or is that self-interest?
It's self-interest, but in the way it's courtesy, right? Because technically they could use camera, but at the same time they're like, okay, we can hire some people, that doesn't do the physical work. But at the same time, I don't think those people are doing the job, because like I said, I've not once got greeted says "Welcome to Walmart."
Now that we have this
Well,
restaurant,
Tony, when you move to Texas, it's going to be a shock for you because you're going to actually be greeted if you ever step into a Walmart.
But that's also, I think that's regional courtesy, regional culture. I think that's what it is, right? Because if you live in the Northeast area, everyone don't have time for you, and that's the truth. Everyone looks like they're busy, like they don't have the time. If they stop walking, that's taking away time. All right, it's taking away their Starbucks run. It's taking something. There's no time because their day ends at 8 p.m. If you want to find something to do after that, good luck. But in Texas, you guys have things running all the way to 3 a.m. So nobody's in that much a rush. And I noticed that a lot of people actually talk about they moved to Texas and stuff like that. And then I think the video was meant to talk about how much they enjoy and how much their lifestyle job changes. Not one person was really talking about their job change. Everybody's talking about how much their life changed, like how much more relaxed they are, and their lifestyle changed, that kind of stuff. But none of them really talk about their job, because you realize that once you get out of certain states, your job is no longer your priority, right? And I can see that because of pay gap and a cost gap, right? Over there, you can live very well with $100,000 income. In Texas, can you? Like, is that true? Right?
Yeah,
Really?
Yeah, you can live pretty well off if you have $100,000 a year.
Okay, so if you make $100,000 a year, you live in New York. Good luck. You live in a box. You live in a paper box with $100,000. Your rent costs more than what you're earning. So yeah, you don't have time. You're always working. You're always busy. You're always trying to find the next gig. You're always trying to do something else. But if you live in a place where your income will make you comfortable, you're more of a happy person, your lifestyle changes, you might be more courteous. And things that might not seem normal to some places might seem normal. Like, I will probably feel more inclined to be expecting the cigar shop to be nicer, or cigar vendors from Texas to be nicer, because their regional culture is slightly different than Massachusetts. Everybody don't have time. So if you come in, they say, hey, what's up? And that would be it.
No, people actually have conversations with you here. And I've met many people who move here from out of states, and the first thing that they say is, everybody's so nice here.
Right? So is that the same thing for Eric?
No, like I moved from New York to Georgia. It's the same to me. I don't know.
It's the same to you? You don't feel like people in Georgia are nicer or more courteous or some sort?
No, I think it's the same. It depends. Like, if you go to Atlanta, right? Around my area, it's more like a country kind of thing. Country, but city at the same time. So, yes, they're a little bit nicer. But if you go to Atlanta, it's exactly like New York City. Everybody don't give a shit. Like, when I go, like I said, there's some places. Yeah. Some places that I go for cigars, I walk in and they're like, they don't even say hi to me. They don't even know that I existed. I was like, all right, I'm out. I'm not going to buy anything. Thank you. Have a nice day.
So we have places here like that where you'll actually walk into a store and nobody will greet you. It's gotten to, and I think Albert can agree with me, it's gotten to a point where if you're not greeted, if you're not felt like you're welcome, you won't shop there.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely. Because there's too many other places to go. Too many other things to spend your money on that you don't have to deal with that.
So it's like if I go in
Albert, you have
I don't
anything
need
particular
much.
though? You have anything particular? No, call out the shop that wasn't doing well to you. Call out the shop.
Yeah, it wasn't even a shop. I mean, like, one time, so apparently there's a cigar that a manufacturer that is in, what are they in, Plano or Richardson? And so Rojas Cigars, for example. So I was turned on to those cigars from Martin. Martin was like, hey, this guy's like around the corner, and I met him, and he's selling these different blends and whatnot. And the Street Taco was one of the first blends that I really kind of jumped on and started smoking. And so I was in there smoking the thing, and it's got kind of a weird draw to it. And sure enough, there's a big old stem, and I was able to grab it with my fingers and pull it out. And it's like the whole length of the cigar. So as a courtesy, I'm going to go out to Facebook and be like, took a picture of it and said, hey man, things like this happen, but it's kind of messed up. And so the owner was like, yeah, sorry to hear that. He's like on Facebook, his response was, hey, sorry to hear that. And I'm like, well, okay. And so I expected a little bit more from that, but I guess he was, he wasn't really understanding, what I was doing. But he took offense that I actually put it on the website. But I don't know how else you're going to get a hold of him, right? He doesn't have a store I can go to, that kind of thing. So I was kind of giving him some feedback. So he offered me his phone number, but then I think he started looking at the post a little bit, and then he just shut it off. Like, he took his phone number away. So from now on, I don't really. I think I may have smoked maybe one or two since then in the past year, but that brand is pretty much dead to me because I don't really, there's other cigars I can go deal with, and so maybe he saw me as not being courteous, to him, but in a way I felt like I was at least giving him an opportunity to do something about it, and he wasn't really wanting to lend that out. So,
and here's we gotta give him a benefit of doubt. Right? Maybe he doesn't want everybody to see his phone number, but the correct way would have been like private message you or something like that. Say, hey, can we talk? Or maybe instead of sorry to hear that, but more like, oh, I apologize. This cigar is sometimes you do have a bad one.
Sure.
I hope your next ones are better, kind of thing. If they don't want to replace it for you. I hope you give us another try, blah, 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 right? There's a way to sound more caring or sympathetic, but I guess he didn't do it. But, hopefully that's an isolated case. And, people who still like Roja can like Roja. I don't particularly like Roja. I don't think the flavor of the cigar is something that I like. And I also hear some negative impression for me, so I don't want to call out on that one because I think that's more like a personal issue than not. Something like where Rojas says he doesn't really want to distribute to internet, small vendors, but yet they do. So it's one of those things that they might have changed their mind, but the guy is not someone that I will vouch for sure. Yeah. So courteous is one of those things.
Well, and the piggyback on this a little bit too, because this was also in the situation. He had an event at a particular shop that I went to that event. Like I made a point to go to that event, and this was before the STEM situation. Mm-hmm. And I'm up there right about the time the event started, and he wasn't there yet. And the owner of the shop was telling us, yeah, he's going to be a little bit delayed. And as the conversation kind of developed, it was like, yeah, we're not sure where he's at. He hadn't called. And so the owner was kind of disclosing some of this to us that, they weren't in good communication on what was going on. And so I was going to stick around probably another hour or so. But at that point, I'm like, well, I can stick around another hour, but I don't know if he's really going to be here. So I eventually wound up leaving. And I was looking forward to getting it. I think there was a promise of some swag and some other stuff that if you purchased at that time or when he got there. And, I asked the guys, hey, if there's any swag, can you, and the owner was like, yeah, I'd be glad to. But I went back the next couple days later and the owner was like, yeah, he never came with swag. So he showed up, but he didn't have swag. So, and I trusted the owner kind of a guy, but I just felt like that was, when you say you're going to be at a certain spot, if you're not going to be there, have the courtesy to call somebody, let them know, because, sometimes people are going out of their way to be there and to either see you or to, just kind of be a part, see what the situation is going to develop, and for you not to communicate with the owner, that's kind of screwed up. I've seen other vendors do that where they stood up the event, and the event was for their product. And now in this case, he did come, but he came late. But the other vendors, and it really turns cigar smokers off. I'm telling you, it really turns them off in a big way. Particularly if they have a reputation for doing that, which I've heard of that from a friend of mine, that he will not smoke that cigar ever again because like I'm not going to deal with that cigar because of the way the vendor has worked with it. And they're just like a rep. They're not even like the official company. You know what I'm saying? They're like a rep, but I guess they are. They're representing them in a way. But yeah,
But that's one of the thing, right? Like I would digress a little bit. A lot of time, the rep is the one that bring the promotion and try to sell more, which I understand, right? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But in the end, they don't bring anything. They don't show up. They don't make the earning. They don't get anything from it. So yeah, that I can understand. But as a cigar brand owner, that's a big fuck up. That will really bring your make people think like the way I did. I think is that I feel like his brand blew up really quickly, and he just feel like he's a big shot. He forgot his customer, and then because he's a big shot, he doesn't care if we fuck up a little bit. Well, guess what? I'm busy, so what am I gonna do, right? So that does happen, right? Some people blew up, and they're like, I'm the big shot, so I'm the you guys wanted me to be there. I got there, all right. Eventually, I did. So if you guys don't like it, well, screw you, right? That does happen. So unfortunately, that that's the way, and that's the impression I have of him, and it hasn't improved. And because of that, I hope he never makes another dollar off me. So
I don't even know who he is. What cigar he make?
Roja cigars, the
Street
like
tacos.
the street taco stuff.
Just the sweet
No,
taco. I never had
street
that one.
tacos, the
Yeah,
blue bonnet,
it's okay if
the
you don't know.
steak man. There's a bunch of them. But anyway,
It's okay if you don't know. I don't
I
think
know.
you're missing much.
going
Okay.
along with what Albert was saying, I've never had an issue with Rojas, his cigars or anything. But I will say, when I did, let's say this, when I was getting into Casa Cueva cigars, I had a bad cigar, and it was one that Tony had sent me, and I don't know if it was just the shipping of the cigar or the cigar itself was not very good. I don't know, but it started cracking on me while I was smoking the cigar. And it wasn't Luis that contacted me. It was his rep. And so this rep was like, hey, I want to make things right for you. I was like, no, you don't have to, man. It was just a bad cigar. He's like, no, that's not what our brand stands for. And I was like, okay, well, he tried to explain it, and he's like, well, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to send you something. I'm going to make up for the cigar that you had that wasn't the best construction. If you ever have a cigar from our brand that is like that, let somebody know, and we'll fix it. And Casa Cuevas has stood behind that forever. Like, we've talked to Luis, we've talked to his wife, we've talked to Michael, who sells them. If you ever have a bad cigar from Cuevas, let us know, and we'll do something to make it right.
So speaking about that, you know how like we talk about Steve Saka and stuff like that about his price range in the cigar?
Right.
He replaced one of my unicorn. Yeah.
He did.
Because
When was that?
the unicorn.
I've never heard about this.
It was a few months ago, and what I opened a unicorn, it was cracked, and all I need to do was I contact him, his team, and then take 2 pictures, send it. He's like, all right, here, I send you another one, and that's it.
I mean, that's an easy, I would say, easy decision, right? If somebody bought $100 cigar and they arrived to them cracked, and knowing that how much it cost me, I'm gonna send you another one. That's an easy courteous to extend, right? But if we talk about something like $8 cigars that's being replaced, $10 cigars being replaced, those earning range are very different than $100 cigar.
Yes, I agree, because the $8 cigar is a far range to even think of replacing, right? Because it's $8.
But if you really think about it, it should be the opposite, right? Because the $8 cigar is their core, is what they sell the most, right? Not the most earning, but it's got to be the core. That's what represents them. So I think I think a lot of, like we talked about last time, I think that we should always speak up for cigars that are damaged and let them have a chance to extend that courtesy to replace it. But a lot of time they don't. And sometimes you don't even know who you should talk to. You don't always see the rep too. What you gotta do, like you bought a cigar, you go home, you smoke it, it crack. You gotta just like, okay, I'm gonna stop smoking this. I'm gonna drive down to the shop right now. There's gotta be a rep right there. It's gotta replace for no, right? And the best you can do is tell the owner next time, and if they want to, they will. But most owner cannot do that, because imagine if this guy just kind of coming every single day says, I bought a box of cigar, one was bad, give me another one, and they do that 20 days straight, you got a new box.
Do consistently.
I mean, nowadays, if you have a bad cigar, you can post it on Instagram and tag the manufacturer or the owner or whoever.
I don't think Davidoff ever replaced any of my cigars.
But I mean, I'm sure if you had
from Instagram,
So,
okay, from Instagram.
You think they will replace it if it's cracked or it's not in the condition that it's supposed to be in?
But there's a lot of reason that can crack, right? There's a lot of reason that can crack. You can buy the cigar, you had a handful, and you drop one. That will crack. True. But it's not really to their fault. It's not manufacturing defect.
Well, I'm not talking about like it's going to be your fault, right? You drop it's your fault, bro. You deal with that.
Yeah, but at the same time, how do I know, Eric, you didn't drop that?
If it come cracked.
How do I know you didn't drop that unicorn? That unicorn's half dead when you open it.
Oh, you stupid.
You open
no,
it
I didn't drop the unicorn,
side,
bro.
The head's the other side, the horn is off. It's no longer a horny horse. You beat it to death. How do I know that?
I didn't beat. I don't beat off to death.
I don't know if you beat the horny horse. Right? How do I know that it wasn't the case? You just show me a picture of the result. You didn't show me the picture of the process.
Okay, all right. But
not that I want to know the process. I'm just saying. But yeah, that's the hard part.
Unicorn juice.
That's the hard part to decide, because we can't tell what happens between the moment you got the cigar and when you go home till the part you let it out.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, like like some people, like us, I don't know, but yeah, like us, we actually care for a cigar. We kind of treat it like a baby. Usually cigar collector, cigar smoker treat the cigar like a, what I mean, they don't really, we don't go out there and try to just drop our cigar for fun. We pretty much careful with our cigar when we buy them, because it costs money.
Yeah, but sometimes you drop the baby, man. That's a fact. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, I know.
Martine knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes the baby gets dropped.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, but
every once in a while.
Then you should know that's your fault. Then you shouldn't contact nobody for it. Right. That's your own fault.
Right.
I can't comment on that, because when I come home, I just drop the box on the floor.
Okay, so I have another.
I'm saying, like, usually
I have a different scenario to talk about. Getting off of cigars, getting back to a different scenario. So the streets in my neighborhood have cars parked on either side, and so there's really only room for one car to go through, and this drives me nuts. Like,
here we go.
I'm driving down and I see a car coming, so I find a little gap that I can pull into to let them by. So what does the other car do? They pull into a gap. So now both of us are stopped, and I'm thinking, man, I try to be courteous, and the people, instead of them just keeping going, right? They stop trying to be courteous to me, but they're not being courteous to me because they're holding us both up even longer. Like, if I'd known you were going to stop, I would have just kept going to let you stop, and we both would have been out of there faster.
Yeah, but you're getting mad at people for
nuts,
trying to be courteous to you.
I hate that. It's not courteous. It's not courteous. It's not courteous at all.
Well, they're trying hard.
No. When it comes to cars, I heard there's one saying that's absolutely true. The right of ways is depending on who have the cheaper car.
True.
What?
True.
Hey, you gotta be careful with your freaking,
all right. The
expensive
right
car,
of
man.
ways,
You do.
it depends on who had the cheaper car.
Yeah, I
Okay.
agree with that.
I
agree
get
with
it.
that. I agree with that. So
Yeah, because you rather have the other messed up, or you want your nice car being wrecked.
Yeah,
Or
you will extend that
anything.
courtesy, allow them to get by first. Okay, you will okay, go ahead. I don't know about your driving skill, but you go ahead.
I mean, if I'm pulling up to a car that has like a messed up bumper, yeah, I'll stop.
So okay. So that I can see how that one is more of a gray area for a lot of people, right? So here's one: you're coming up through a stop, not a stop sign, but a red light, and you have you have a green light and you're turning left. The other car is coming the other way, the opposite direction. He's turning right. And they think it's courteous to stop and wave you on, let you turn left instead of taking the right of way and that's moving on. Like they create.
It's like,
that's
dude,
not
you have the
true.
right of way.
They create.
You don't have the right of way. They have a green light to turn left. You don't have the right of way to turn right on the red.
No, they have a green
but
light
they
to turn
stop.
right. They have the green light. Both of you have green lights. Both
So one's
I'm
turning
turning
left, one's
left.
turning right.
across
But
traffic.
you just say he stopped at the red light.
No,
Then you could do them simultaneously.
No, because
You
both
could just-
because both one turn right, one turn left. They're going the same
when I
direction.
said stoplight, I'm talking about an intersection, a light intersection.
Opposite side. Opposite side's left is your right.
No,
If your light is green and you're turning right, you have the right of way.
that's it. That's
Yes.
it.
If your light's green, but I'm talking about if the light is red and the other side has green to turn
You
left.
have to stop.
A left turn signal.
So,
The right is not supposed to turn. You gotta
so let
wait.
me rewind. Let me rewind this. I have a green light. They have a green light because we're going opposite directions. And I decide to turn,
Okay.
which I can turn on the left, but I have to wait for traffic. I have to wait for traffic crossing, and I have to wait for traffic turning.
Mhm.
And these idiots will like pull up, and they'll see that I'm trying to turn left, and instead of just taking their right turn like they're supposed to, because they have a green light to do that with, they stop and say, "No, you go ahead and go."
But that's following the correct
No,
rule.
it's not.
That is following. No, that's following the
No.
rule of the right of way depends on who had the
Oh,
cheaper car.
that rule, right? No, that my car was not the cheapest car. This was like a nice truck. What it was an idiot behind the wheel over there who actually created a bigger scenario, a more unsafe thing. Because now I don't want to turn, or I'm hesitant to turn, and the cars behind them have a better chance of catching up, and now it's a big mess, huge mess.
But no, but then he's holding the spot for you. Nobody can pass him.
No,
right?
there's multi-lane. Is what it is.
Yeah.
It's multi-lane.
That's when you just punch the
No,
gas
I know.
and just go.
I know. And as soon as you do
You can
that,
do that.
as soon as you do that, then they go and wreck into you, and it's your fault. Yeah.
Again, who had the cheaper car? You know, if he had the cheaper car, he might just go, I know what, he's not moving. I'm just gonna go and hit him.
So I just usually when that, like I say, I get out of work and I get every time I hit that light, usually it's multi-lane, and I usually take a left every time, and people does come that, but then I gun it out there so fast that people will stop for me.
Yeah, that's not courteous.
Yeah, in the Northeast, it's kind of different. Like if you're in New York, you gotta poke your nose out first for somebody to stop.
Yeah, you
No
have
one
to.
will stop
Yeah,
for you,
you
unless
got.
you poke the nose
Yeah,
out.
no, you gotta go. You gotta drive like an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah,
No
I'm
one
the
will
guy
stop
that
for you.
always goes in the middle of the lane, in the middle of the intersection, like starting to turn my wheels, and then people will like start coming, and it's like, dude, you have the right of way. Keep going, because there's more traffic coming. But they'll stop because they see, oh, he wants to go. No, dude, you got the right of way. Keep going.
You go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Martin gets
it
it.
really
Martin
depends
gets
like
it.
where you're at. Again, like I say, it depends where you're at. If you like when you tell me that scenario, I think about over here. No one's gonna stop. You just go. You know, people with a better car will actually stop. Says, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let them go first. But you know, in different state, I don't know. But over here, that's usually the case. And if you wanna take a left turn on the multi-lane, you have to purposely poke the nose across the lane so that somebody feel like they gotta clip you, so they will stop, or else they will not let you go.
Yep.
There's no way.
It will not stop.
In New York, they'll just honk.
When I
In New York, they'll honk before they go.
yep.
They will honk, and then I don't care if you stop, but if I honk, you stop.
Okay,
Yeah, when I drive New York City, I gun it all the time. I'm like, my girl got freaked out every time I go in the city because, to be honest, Tony, nobody stop. Nobody ever stop. You have to
city,
fucking
no.
go.
In the city, no. I've seen people just honk and then go, expecting everybody to stop.
Yep.
I have another situation.
Okay.
So you're coming up on an exit, a very popular exit, because there's a huge line of people that are in the right-hand lane waiting for this exit to open up, or to be able to get in. Or you're getting off to like an interchange where you're changing highways, and so you have to get on the ramp and whatnot. So there's a big long line there. All right. Do you do the courteous thing, I guess, and get in the very, very back? Or do you do what I do, which is I drive up and I find people sleeping. I find like people with huge gaps, and then I squeeze into the gap. I'm not talking
I
about
do that shit all the time.
I'm not talking about squeezing in and making them stop for let me in. That's not what I'm getting at all. I'm saying there's like 3 car links in front of them, and I'm like, I call them sleepers, right?
Swerve in.
And I just go ahead and get in and be done with it because I feel like I'm kind of filling in the gaps, right? Is the way I feel.
Exactly right. I'm helping everybody.
I'm helping everybody, right? I'm not adding to the
I'm not
line.
holding up traffic.
I'm not holding up the traffic. I'm So what do y'all do with that?
I'm the same way.
I can go first on that one then. Let me tell you, number one, we don't have those 3-car gaps ever. We do have those lines that's for the exit. Right here, if you go on Route 90 and if you try to exit on the Newton Watertown, it's always packed 15 cars back. All right, because it's a multi-lane that became 1 lane. Okay, so yeah, you always gotta have that traffic per se, but there's never gotta be a 3-car lane because they're bumper to bumper all the time. Now, this might be a self-satisfactory thing with me where I feel better. I will drive to the front. I will leave. I won't go to the very, very front where the last second I can go. I'll leave 3 cars in front of me and they cut through.
Okay. Yeah, so I'll do the same thing where I try to. There's always somebody on their phone who's they're just not paying attention, and they always leave a gap in front of them. And my wife gets so pissed off at me because she sees what I'm doing. Like she already knows, and so I'll find the little gap, pull into it, and I was like, okay, do you want me to pull over and let all these cars go? So that you want to wait for them and find my spot back in the back. So she never takes me up on that offer, by the way. So it's got.
Just to add, if it's my wife, she saw someone try to cut in, she will close that gap.
Oh yeah,
on purpose.
I close the gap too.
I do that. I close the gap.
Like you try to push in, we'll see who. She will drive. I hope you have a good insurance because you're about to give me a new bumper. She will literally go really bumper to bumper until the sensor go beep. She's like, "Yep, don't try to cut me, bitch. Don't try to cut me." I'm like. I was I'll wait a little bit to leave a safe distance. My wife was like, he's about to cut you. I said, big deal. Let him cut. It's fine. 1 car, big deal. And she'll be like, no, push forward, push forward. I was like, no, not doing that.
That would be me. My girl freak out about that all the time.
Usually I'm the guy that if there's a lot of people either entering an on-ramp or exiting an on-ramp, and you see a line, I'm the guy that will stay to the right and then just keep driving. And I'll literally think to myself, where's the gap? Where's the gap? Where's the gap? Where's the gap? And then I see the gap. Okay, there's my time. Boom, slide in. And you just cut off so much traffic that way. It's just so much easier. You just got to drive a little aggressive. That's all.
And then you're not in the way of the other people. Like you're not back.
You're actually generating more traffic. Traffic is actually generated by someone stepping on the brake.
Yeah.
You're not generating a brake because if people are not
if
they're leaving
the
a gap,
gonna break for your ass.
if people are leaving a gap, you're basically creating less traffic because there's not people behind you.
No,
so you're
actually, that gap
swerving
scientifically will smooth traffic. So if they gun it and go forward, it's gonna create the next traffic. By the time they stop, the second car to stop again, that creates another chain of stopping. But if they go really, really slow and just let it cruise forward, and at the front, they didn't have to stop again before they reach that point, the car behind will actually smooth out. Mythbuster did the test. Just saying, you have generated more traffic.
I'm the guy that will literally wait for my opening to swerve in.
Yeah, I do. Here's the thing that I do believe that driving courtesy has to depend on number one, the cost of your car. Number two, what the mood for that day. Because if you're in a bad mood, you're not stopping for nobody. Nobody. And you know what's the most dangerous is if you need to take a shit. When you then need to take a shit, you no longer give a shit to anybody. There's no courtesy. There is no traffic light. There's no stop sign. You go.
There's nothing that would stop you from going home fast.
Speaking of which, that was a great segue, by the way. Courtesy flushes. What's with the courtesy flushes? I don't understand those.
I don't think that works. I don't think that works.
Courtesy
I don't
flush.
think it works.
Oh,
It doesn't work.
I don't think it works.
The smell's already out.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, number one, I don't like to take shit outside. Like, I do not like to go to a bathroom outside. I'd rather drive home to take a shit and then come out.
Oh my god, dude! I would not take a shit at work or anywhere else. I have to fucking drive home and do it.
Yeah.
And my boss sometimes she'd be like, "Where you going?" I was like, "I gotta go home."
Dude,
I
don't
will
care.
hold it in until I'm dying. Like I'm dying.
Yeah,
And then I would
like
drive.
it's about. I will hold it into a like. I'm about to fucking splash this goddamn
Yeah.
wall.
But there are
Like,
situations that you find yourself in where you're in a public toilet.
But courtesy flush it doesn't help. The smell is there. You're flushing the thing
Yeah.
down. It does not mean you're not gonna generate more.
I don't know. I mean, I got some
You
stinky
only
ass
courtesy
shits.
flush when you want more, right? You only courtesy flush knowing that you're not gonna be done anytime soon. But that
Yeah.
doesn't help because you flush it. Now it's gonna be even more disgusting because you know more is coming out.
oh
I don't
my
know. I think
And-
when
God. You know, courtesy flush, right? Like, what if the water splash up?
No,
Like,
that,
you get public toilet fucking nastiness. Like,
well, okay. Now, we're
I
not
ain't
gonna
worried
go
about
there,
that.
okay? But we're talking about. I believe in there's some way to mask the smell better than courtesy flush.
I mean, I don't know. I think if
Like-
you flush it down, you're not that smell isn't right there in the tub, and it's just permeating around. So you got to flush it down.
You know what's the worst? You know what's the worst? Okay, here it is.
give it a little fermenting.
What is the worst thing is that when you go on cruises, people bring poopery. You know what that is, right? Poopery.
No, I don't. What the fuck
Okay,
is
it's
that?
a,
That
it's a
just sounds
spray
weird.
that you spray. It creates a layer of oil. So when you take a shit, it falls into the oil. The oil encase the
smell.
poop, so it doesn't smell.
There's not such a thing.
Yeah.
Here
I
it
didn't
is.
know that.
Well, here's the
It's called
problem.
poopery.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem. It does mask the smell somewhat, but if you had taco last night, whatever that smell will be combined with that bomb you just dropped, and it's twice as bad. So they think it's courtesy. It was like, you know what? I don't want the neighbors to smell my shit because these walls are really thin. But with the poopery and the beans and tacos they ate yesterday with sour cream, it made it worse. I know it's
I
a
didn't
thought
know
that
there was
counts,
such
but
a
holy
thing.
shit,
Oh
it's
my
bad.
God.
And that makes whenever you smell poopery, you're like somebody just took a shit. You know, you knew. There's no way around it. So maybe it's better to not use it. I mean, I know some places have matches, right? Like cigar shop, they have matches in the bathroom. That kind of
Does it work?
It does work because the match
It's
smells
sulfur.
like when you light it up, it really
This is
smells.
sulfur.
Yeah, it really makes the smell go away.
Yeah.
Fuck. I never.
Yeah, if you gotta get it, don't get the floral one because I've smelled it before. It was bad. Like if somebody decides to have a curse of the Mexicans, it will make it worse. Okay, but like it's one of those things. I know in the cigar shop, I think it's very important to have that kind of stuff. Some people will wash their hands, like the soap will kind of cover the smell. But if you go to a bathroom, you smelled it, it was bad. Somebody didn't wash their hands.
Oh my God.
Somebody in the rush wiped and go, right? They didn't wash their hands. So,
Yeah,
that's
that's just
one of those
disgusting.
things in the cigar shop. I really
Th-
wish.
You know, that's why, like, usually when I go out, my girl asks me. Usually, I don't eat until like the very end. We about to go home or something, and she's like, "Why don't you ever eat when we go out and stuff until like the very end?" Because I was like, I don't want to take shit in public.
You're not going to take shit for eating the same day. You know, it takes 24 hours to digest, right?
No, mine come out, bro. Like when I eat, it come
I don't
out.
know why we're talking shit right now, but here's
that's just where the
it takes
conversation
20
goes.
Here's the thing. Believe it or not,
Courtesy flush.
believe it or not, cigar nicotine is actually a laxative. It actually makes you want to go.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
Make
healthy.
you relax.
Kinda healthy.
Make you.
It's very healthy.
It
But,
relaxes your
but at the
anus.
same time,
If you constipated,
but
smoke
at the same
something.
time, I wish
Come on.
like the bathroom for those cigar shops are nicely equipped with some air sanitizer, matches,
Yes.
or this might sound bad.
Vents, anything.
Allow you to bring the cigar into the bathroom, please.
Oh my God!
I've
what
seen
the
that.
fuck? You gonna?
I've seen that. They'll have ashtrays in
I'd
the
rather
in the-
smell the cigar.
Yeah.
I'd rather smell the cigar.
I mean, the
Because
cigar
I was just like,
smell.
oh, that smell like kuka.
I mean, the cigar smell is
This kuka
stronger.
smell like kuka.
I mean, do you guys think that the cigar smell is stronger than the shit smell? I think it is.
It depends what cigar. I mean,
Hmm.
Connecticut isn't gonna cover it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you smell kuka,
I don't think anything will cover fucking shit up, bro.
what kind of shit do you have? I don't want to know, but like, what kind of shit do you have? Holy shit!
I told you. Yeah, I'm not a good guy to be.
It's what you eat, bro.
If you want, don't go. If I told you I go to the bathroom and take more than 5 minutes, don't come in afterwards.
Why? Why? Why do we get to this subject? Why? Oh my god!
You
That's
probably
just
gonna,
where it goes.
people gonna throw
But it
up,
does
man,
happen.
on that
It does
arena.
happen. I seriously doubt anybody can tell me that they have never used a bathroom in a cigar shop.
Well, I don't sit in the lounge, so I don't know. I haven't. I've suffered if I need to take a piss.
Like, you know,
That's it.
if I'm in Arizona, if I'm in Texas, I'm in the mercy of people who's giving me a ride. I can't just rush home. So if I need to go, I need to go.
I would like Tony take the keys.
I don't know how to get back. You kidding me?
There's GPS, bro. Go do shit. Just click it real
I
quick. I know
will
you're gonna
wash
mess
my
up on the
hand
address.
5 times just so that the smell goes away. You know, I'll come out. My hands will actually moisturize and humidify any cigar that I touch at that point.
That's why, like in Miami, you guys not gonna see me eat a lot.
No, you have to eat. I mean, if you don't eat and you have a strong cigar,
I know.
You know, I
But
don't know
things like
what's better: go to the bathroom to puke, or go to the bathroom to shit.
I mean,
I'd rather puke and come out and then smoke more cigarettes.
Trent, you're always eating, bro.
Bro, because I eat at night. You know that. I eat once a day. I just want to let you
But
know.
still, you got to eat.
Yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
But
But
if
then,
you
like, if I
eat-
hang out with the boys, I don't need to eat like that. If I'm out and about, no food is fine.
really. I mean, I can do it with like 2 meals, maybe 1 meal a day. That's fine. Like when we have our events, we barely ate, right? We kind of have like a pick here and there, a few pieces and stuff like that.
Yeah,
But
that's
we
fine.
also have people that got sick. Remember that Texas, somebody went home because they felt sick. So you know, it does happen.
I don't remember.
Whose wife was that? Was that Eric's wife? That didn't feel well and left.
I don't remember.
Yeah, but that does happen. I mean, oh yeah. So yeah, any cigar shop don't have a bathroom should have a bathroom.
a nice one, please.
It's courteous.
And you know, Cigars Daily has one of those bidet things that, like, you know, I feel like home when I sit on it. So I'm okay with that. You know, you need to have the butt heater, you know, and everything. And if you have
The
one of those
butt
things, it actually ventilates. You know, one of those machines actually ventilates. So it's better.
Oh god.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a lot of shitty topic right there. What a shitty topic. Anyways,
That's the whole point, though.
that is 1 hour for us, and you know, I hope you enjoy this little change of subject from courteous to shitty. That just took a shitty turn. All right.
Yep.
So that will be it for us tonight, and I hope you enjoy it. You know, of course, we have other episodes. I hope you, you know, you haven't listened to episode 1 through 6. You should take a good listen. If you do want to comment on those, a week after it's released, it's also on YouTube. You can go to there and comment, and we'll read it. We'll respond to it if something that requires response or warrants a response. We'll respond to it. So I hope you enjoyed it, and that's it for us for tonight. I will see you guys. Well, we will see you guys in the next episode.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Later, guys.
See ya.
This is In the Shadows Podcast. Lots of cigar talk, but if it's going on in the world, we'll be talking about that too. And by the way, the fellas don't shy away from controversial topics. Trust me. So grab that stick, kick back with your favorite drink, and let's do the thing. This is the In the Shadows Podcast. Now your hosts, Tony the Soy Sauce Assassin, along with Albert, Martine, and Eric.